It has a red sticky.
On the DVD recorder on the left. Did you get it?
I think so.
All right.
If it wasn't this fault.
You're just a citizen. You're not responsible.
Sharon, is it Sharon over there?
Somebody have an agenda I can look at?
Yes.
No, I did not copy the agenda.
The agenda is not printed.
But look at that right next to you.
That was the transfer memo I told you about.
He signed
Well,
it.
let's actually just keep it,
What?
since everybody's here, let's just call the meeting to order to make life a little easier. Thank you for your remarkable patience and my lack of tardiness. Although I can fairly say that Dorchester to Abington is about a 22-minute ride.
Adhering to all applicable laws.
I'll just
Thank you for doing that
Well-
during the course of your driving today. I am neither admitting nor denying that that is what we did. But nevertheless, I do appreciate it. I do appreciate your last minute, your willingness rather to meet today in the last minute. I'm just pulling the agenda up just so I happen to have it in front of me.
Doing the same.
So
I
you
have
can-
a copy of ours.
Yeah, that's what
I
I'm
just
looking
didn't
for.
make copies.
No, no worries at all. It's just we can kind of keep true to it. So the first budget item, if you will, the first item for a budget is the FY 2015 end-of-year transfers. I had forwarded to the group that lists the details of what those transfers are. I know through correspondence with Deb that Sue Mopen had produced this memo that you all have here. Have you all had a chance to peruse, review, or otherwise comment or prepare comments on?
I have a question
Yes, ma'am.
or two.
You have one. There's a quota.
I'll ask the
I'll
other.
roll it all into one.
Please, comment.
I was just wondering about the postage in elections from registrars. Cover the cost of postage for required second mailings. If it's required, wouldn't we have budgeted for that, or was it an oversight, or?
I can't speak to exactly what it is, but what I can suggest, and honestly, just for personal feedback, it's pretty hard to budget to the penny.
Right.
So I
No,
would
that's what I'm
imagine.
wondering, if it's just, but, so that was one question. The other question, oh, it was just more a curiosity thing. North River Collaborative from building repair. Just what it was for, the 581.
We don't have an explanation on that one.
So I believe there was a $581, just their budget was short, North River Collaborative's budget was short. That transfer funds coming from building
Gotcha.
repair.
Okay.
Right, so just as we're all on that same page, we're permitted to transfer into departmental budgets up to a certain percentage of that department's operating budget. So as each budget comes to the close, and as they look to close their year-end books, they have made an establishment that they're underfunded slightly based on certain numbers. And whilst I don't have the actual budgets for each department in front of me, I'm confident just from the eyeball look and from what we've done over time that it's less than 2% is what you're looking at of these inter-budget transfers. And again, that's just my opinion. That's not because I have any other numbers in front of me. Just as taking an example, Medicare, $9,600. The Medicare exposure and expenditure is fairly high. Well, the budget is, I should say. So moving $9,600 is not a large amount. Any other general discussion? Do we have a motion from the floor as it relates to this particular 2015 end-of-year transfers?
Also move.
We have a
Second.
motion, a second. So with Liggy and Matt, any further discussion on the motion to approve the 2015 end-of-year transfers? Not hearing any. All those in favor kindly signify by saying aye.
Aye.
That's me as well, Deb. Aye. No opposed. We have 0 abstentions. So thank you very much for taking care of I did hear the Jello truck coming in for the Jello wrestling that we're gonna have to commit to in the reorganization of the finance committee. I believe that's what we're gonna have to do. So without further ado, I'm gonna turn the meeting over to our recording secretary, Deb Libby, so we can go through this process.
Okay, at this time, I would like to call for nominations of the Finance Committee Chairman.
I'd like to nominate Matt Sala.
Second?
Any other nominations? Matt, do you accept the nomination?
I do.
Okay, in that case, all those in favor of Matt
Aye.
as chairman? All unanimous, no abstentions? Matt, the meeting is yours. Congratulations.
Thank you. I'd like to move forward with the meeting. The next,
No, you
No.
need to do
Reorganization.
the rest of the officers.
the rest of the, yeah.
You need to call for
So-
a vice chair.
Okay, so I'd like to call for nominations for vice chair. Cindy,
Nominate Sean.
Second?
second. Are there any other nominations? No other nominations? All those in favor of Sean?
Sean, do you accept?
Sean.
Oh,
Oh,
Looks
we
like
weren't gonna ask.
Potentially,
Yes.
Yes, thank you.
All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Abstentions? Thank you, Sean.
Secretary is that.
Yes. Next, are there any nominations for secretary?
I'd like to nominate Rebecca, but she's not here. So,
You can.
I do recall that my first year on, someone that was not here was nominated for, I believe, second statistician.
I
Was
second.
allowed.
right, so I'm going to nominate Rebecca.
We have a second
Secretary.
for that.
Second.
We have several seconds for that.
I got Cindy first, sorry.
It's fine.
I would
And
ask.
Robert, do you
Re-
accept?
I would ask Rebecca if she accepts, but by her absence, she is accepting. So, all those in favor of Rebecca Cantor as secretary, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Abstain? So moved. Are there any nominations for the first statistician?
I'd like to nominate Michael.
Is there a
Second.
There's a second. Are there any other nominations for the first statistician? Mike, you can feel free to nominate someone else to go opposed to if you don't want them. Do you accept the
I
nomination?
accept.
Mike accepts the nomination. With no other nominations, all those in favor of Mike as first statistician, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? None? Thank you, Mike.
Thank you.
And are there any nominations for the second statistician? The backup in case Mike is unable to fulfill his duties.
I nominate Pete.
Is there a
Second?
second? Any other nominations? Okay. Mike, do you accept the nomination?
It's Pete.
Pete, sorry. Going across. Pete, sorry.
Sure.
All those in favor? Aye.
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 Opposed? Abstain? None? Pete, thank you. And congratulations.
Whatever it does.
Keep track of numbers during the budget
Oh, boy.
season. Mike gets to run the laptop if we actually break it out this year. All right, those are the chair and other such positions for the committee. Officers, that's what it is. Thank you, Deb. Do we want to continue with liaison assignments?
Can you send out a list of liaison assignments and who the current, and so that we can have a little bit of time to look at it? Oh,
You want to look at it? Do we want to take up liaison assignments tonight, or do we want to have time to review liaison assignments and departments and consider them at our next meeting?
I think it's best for next consideration.
Does anyone oppose considering them at the next meeting?
Make a new member, or the members for that
Yes.
matter, and Rebecca may be here.
Yep. All right. We'll include that on the agenda for the next meeting. And that concludes the new business for the meeting. The next item for the meeting is review of minutes from previous meetings.
Motion to approve meeting minutes of June 8th.
I think we should take the meeting minutes of May 20th first.
All right. Motion to approve the meeting minutes of May 20th.
Is there and there's a second? Is there any discussion on the meeting minutes of May 20th?
Very nicely composed. I appreciate the font. Very little space.
And reviewed during, in between emailings. Made corrections that I did not spot what was corrected, but corrections were made. All those in favor of approving the minutes? I believe that everyone who is here was present at that meeting and can vote.
Except like.
Oh,
Except me.
Sorry, Liggy was not. So, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstain?
Motion to approve meeting minutes of June 8th, 2015.
Second.
Any discussion to the meeting minutes of June 8th of 2015, the meeting before the town meeting?
Equally crisp, enjoyable font.
Yes. All those in favor of approving the minutes, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Abstentions? None. I will request that someone show me where the mailbox for the correspondence is, since I am not aware of that. And at that point, for the next meeting, we can check if we have correspondence. Is there anyone that has any other new business to
I do.
bring up? Pete?
We had a meeting of the Abington
Oh,
School
excellent.
Building Committee on the 23rd of June. Everything is on track, on schedule. The MSBA will get its 90% update actually in 2 days, and that's pretty much the big one. Once they approve that, it's downhill from there. Bid will be opening, they believe, around 15 October, and they're looking to break ground in November, December. So, and they have all the phases figured out and where people are parking and all that good stuff.
Excellent.
So they're really on track and know what they're doing.
Have there been any recent updates to the website? Do you know?
No, I don't know. But it should be fairly updated.
Are there any other liaison reports? Anyone, any other topics to discuss? Our next meeting, we look at schedules to figure out our next meeting. I'm guessing that some people might have vacations coming up. I know I do. And
Mr. Chairman, I wonder if we set the date via email as August approaches.
Okay.
Only because of the possibility of appointment of other members. And other things might indeed pop up in view of, in case we have a fall special town meeting. Just the other circumstances that, instead
Yep.
of binding ourselves now, as you just described, personal vacation and
Yep.
another. That's just my personal suggestion.
that is a good suggestion. Does anyone have problems with discussing over email our next meeting date? Will likely
No, that would be fine.
likely be in August, possibly late August.
With that,
Is there anything further?
motion to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Congratulations.
Thank you.
You can follow those directions backwards.
I helped my son move. He's